Hi, crafty friends. I'm back. I took a little trip out to Florida to celebrate my mom's 80th birthday. And so I am back. I worked a little bit on my journal using PolkaDotPixels Spring Garden kit and on Etsy. And I will link in the description box that kit along with a few other kits that I used of hers in this journal. And I'm using a Slipknot section. I'm gonna just flip through this as I'm talking. I'm gonna bind it with a Slipknot technique instead of the pamphlet stitch. So I figured I needed to decorate my pages first, which I did a little bit while I was at my mom's, and I did a little bit the last few days at home. So I want to, so I have several pages. You can see it's already getting chunky. And I use some of my die cuts. I love to go through my die cuts to match them up to my journal sometimes. And like this is a die cut from KS Crafts, and it's like a flower bouquet. It's like a 3D, but it's a pocket. It's perfect for for a journal. And I thought, well, this is like it's a spring garden theme. And so I thought it was a perfect die cut for this. And then I put a side pocket in here. And this, okay, so I said this in my first video where I did a flip through of all the papers, and I will link that part 1 in the description box as well. But Emily used to design for Simple Stories, and so if this kit the paper looks a little bit familiar, it's because she designed the Simple Vintage Spring Garden for Simple Stories. So I still have some of the 6x8 paper, and I have some of the 12x12 paper. So like this was in the 12x12 paper, and I just cut it out and put this little tab on for a side pocket, and cut some different pieces out from the paper to make some little tuck spots. But before I finish going through the rest of these papers, what I want to do is I want to create my cover so I can bind this journal. There's still a few things I want to add to it, but I think it'll be okay with the binding technique. So what I decided to do is, okay, so I have the 6x8 paper pad, and I only have a few sheets left, but I thought, well, why not make this the cover? And take this is some of the, like the washi strips or belly band strips that are in the kit. And I thought I would add these to the cover. And I'm gonna embellish this more because, I always do my covers last. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to work on today. So this is a little bit bigger. You can see like it's bigger than my pages, and I'm just trying to think, like, do I really want to cut this down? I'm thinking it's okay to have my cover a little bit bigger, because you know how things open up, they sometimes pop out of the sides. So to cover like this little strip down here, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna ink these little belly band strips from the kit, PolkaDotPixels kit, and I'm just gonna glue these on here. So let's see, this goes to about right here. And then I'm gonna add to the cover in addition to this, but I just thought that's a great way to use, your paper pads have such pretty designs on them sometimes. And, I mean, I've cut them out and used them for projects before, but never for a journal cover. So I thought, oh, that'd be kind of fun. So I think I'm only gonna put part of this one up here, maybe right where that pink like rickrack is my thought. Let me ink this. Yeah, so I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, my plan before I left to go to my mom's was to get a few more videos recorded before I left, but you know, that did not happen. Just time got away from me and I just wasn't able to get that done. So yeah, so anyways, I'm back now. Still just a tiny bit jet lagged, trying to get over that, and then trying to adjust to going from, you know, an area like Florida's a little bit humid. It's not terribly humid this time of year. It's really actually very nice. It's actually very cold there. When I left, it was freezing cold. But of course, here in Vegas, it was really warm. So if I want to use that one, or this one, or this one. I don't think I want to use that one. Maybe this one. Let's do it this way. Yeah, so it's freezing cold when I left Florida, and it was warm in Vegas. And I didn't realize, I didn't know why I felt so horrible, why my arthritis was so bad when I got home. But I guess when you go from an area that where there's humidity to an area where it's really dry, your body just, it needs that extra hydration. So all my joints where I have arthritis are just not very happy. So I've been trying to drink lots of water to rehydrate myself. Yeah, okay, so let's cut off this excess. Yeah, so this is so different for me to decorate a journal pages before you sew everything together. It's I don't know, it's just weird, strange to me. I guess it does make you just focus on one page at a time, right? So yeah, that was different. Neat. So I just think it looks, I love like seeing all these papers. And then I don't know exactly what I'm going to do on the cover, but I have this fabric that I just thought looked springy. So I might do something like this, and I cut this out from one of the pages. I might fussy cut the teacup out, maybe the bunny, and pop the bunny in there or something. I'm not quite sure. You know, I always have to do my covers last. I know a lot of people do them first. And then, okay, so I have, these are the 2 sheets I have left, basically from the 6x8 paper pad. So I thought, well, how cool. I'm gonna put that on the inside. So I think this is a little bit longer. I might have cut that. I'm gonna do one side on the inside cover, and then this side will be showing on the back cover. Yes, so where my bone folder is. I specifically set it out. There it is. Clean my desk off a little bit. Is that hanging over a little bit? I guess not. It seemed like it That is a little bit on the bottom, maybe. I love this paper collection. It's so pretty. I might come back too. I have some die cuts that have like little borders, and maybe put a border strip here, here, and you know, here and here. I don't know. Okay, so that's that. And then the back cover. So this is the back of the 6x8 paper pad. So I thought, well, let's use that. So I think I'm gonna put, let's see, maybe this paper. Let's see. Let's do this. This one or this one? Let's do this one. So we're learning together how to use the Slipknot method and decorating the journal first. So like I said, I went through and I pretty much like added my pockets and embellishments. There is still, like, I need to make some tags for like some top loading pockets and a few other things, but I don't think those will bulk things up too much. So then on the inside, I thought I'd use the other side of this paper. Neat. So I hate, you know, when it's double-sided paper, you have to, unfortunately, I guess, you have to cover this. You have to put one side down, right? Oops. Okay. Whoops. That slide down a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna cut some of this. I think the paper I printed, I didn't cut it down enough. Let's ink around the edges. So I hope everybody's doing well and that you're having fun, doing something creative, a spring project. And when I left, a couple of my trees were bare. The leaves hadn't come back, and then I came back and the leaves are leaves are growing back in, so really pretty. I missed the flower blossoms though on some of them. Yeah, okay, cool. So let me bring in one of these pages that I don't have embellished too much. Maybe this one. No. How about this one? Okay. And I need to mark my holes. Yeah, so this is like quite a bit. Let's see, is that a full page? Because some of the pages in here I don't have, you know, I cut them down smaller or whatever. Get one that, like, this page is smaller. I think that's a full page. So I think I'll mark the back first. I'm trying to figure out. If I do it like that, I've got like almost an inch for the spine, but maybe I don't want to go in too far. I'm afraid if I go in too far, I don't know, just never having done this Slipknot. Well, I did use the Slipknot on a really small project. Let's see if we went in just a little bit. Might be too far in. Let's see, can we trim any of this down? I really just want to leave these like they are. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave them like they are. So, let me mark where my holes are. Bring my crocodile in. And if you don't have a crocodile, you can use, you know, 3-hole punch if you're able to move the, you know, adjust your settings on it, or just a regular little hole punch. The other thing I need to do is I probably should have rounded these corners first. I don't know if this is going to work with, oh, it did. I was worried it was too thick, but nope, perfect. Oops. Those corners. Okay. Okay, then let's take, actually let me round the corners of this one first, the back cover. I don't know why this one feels thicker. Oh, great. Is it still not? There we go. Be glued down a little bit. Okay. Right like that. Make sure I didn't put anything on upside down. Okay. Crocodile. I was going through all my die cuts the other night and just, you know, playing with some of them that I hadn't used before to add to my journal. I think it's fun to make things different. Okay, now I'm going to bring in, I had cut out some of these hole reinforcers with a die cut that I have. I think I'm going to do the butterfly ones on the cover. And I put that sticky stuff on the back of the paper before I die cut them, just to make it easier to put them on. Yeah, I don't know if you need hole reinforcers for this. I saw a video of a gal that did that Slipknot section, Slipknot binding. She didn't use hole reinforcers, but then her journal was really little. This is this little journal. So but I just thought, well, I better. Just because I tend to chunk things up in my journals and find some that are all the same shape. Okay, those two are, that is. Yeah, and I just used the Simple Vintage digital kit papers to cut these hole reinforcers out. I have to say, I really do like putting that sticker paper on the back. It makes it so easy. Okay, there's the front. Now let's put them on the back. Now, which one do we want the same? Kind of like a neutral color, maybe, or maybe a color. Let's bring in some color to this page. Yeah, so I think it looks nice to put whether you're using like, you know, binder rings or, you know, in this case, the Slipknot method. I think it looks nice to put the hole reinforcers in. These pages are, they're so pretty and they're collaged well together. So I don't think you really see them. Let me throw these things away. All right, and the back side. Let's do these. Looks like little daisies, flowers. Yeah, I did a whole bunch of these, so I've got plenty of them to use. Yeah, so I went through like my stash of this Simple Stories scrapbook paper collection that I had of this same same collection, and cut out some of the ephemera, and then I actually even had some of the actual ephemera packages still. And let me show you what I did. So you know how like on the back of your ephemera, like on the back, there's these little designs. I mean, the designs of what is in your ephemera pack. So I took those and I glued them. I cut these out, glued them so that I have a backing. And I put that, I don't know if you can see this, how it's kind of shiny. I use that Tim Holtz method where you put that packing tape over it to make it shiny. And I thought, I'm gonna make these into like a little dangle or something. I mean, they're so colorful. I mean, usually we just throw these away, but I thought, hey, that would be a good use. Okay, so we got our front and back cover. So I need to put this in order, right? So this is our front cover. Now, what are we gonna have as a first page? I don't know. I kind of thought this bloom. So you start with the back cover with this binding method. So, put my scraps aside here. So you kind of have to know. I did originally have it in order, but but then as I started, you know, decorating in it and stuff, it just kind of got away from me. So I don't know. Let's see. Look at this. Isn't this cute? This is a die cut from KS Crafts, and it's like a little, has like a little pocket, and I put some vellum in here, put a little card in here, and then it even came with these little tools. So it's perfect for this collection. Anyways, okay, I got that. And then this is a die cut from Scrap Diva Designs. They're her, I think it's called Spring Words 2026. That I thought looked so pretty with the little jars that come with the kit. So, and then this page, this is another, like this is one of the circles that comes in the kit, and I put that packing tape over it so it's shiny. I just put a little flip out. This is actually, let's see, is this paper? Yeah, I think this was from the 6x8 paper pad. This piece, I just cut it down and I put some of the ephemera and I tagged this little thing that's in there. Added a little pocket. And I cut out the tags from the kit, but also the tags from that were in the the scrapbook paper. So this tag is from the scrapbook paper, but I also have the tags from the digital kit too. So there's a few things that like you see on the scrapbook paper that you won't see in the digital, and same with those, there's things you'll see in the digital that you don't see in the scrapbook paper, so kind of cool. Well, this was a little ephemera piece I put on there. Let's see, I added this. And then I glued it down so that it's a pocket, and this is from the scrapbook paper. Like that. And then I put it on a page that has a top loading pocket that I put a little tag on. Okay. So let's put this, oops, I've got this little pick. Stick it back in there. Let's bind it and then I will flip it through. Okay, so we got this one, this page. Let's do this page. Maybe this page. Make sure I put them on the right side. And yeah, this one goes, I think. And this was from the scrapbook paper pad. I love this page. I love this floral pattern, so pretty. So anyways, see it's cut smaller, but it's okay. It looks neat when things are just kind of a little bit smaller. Some of these are still in order of how I think I had originally put them. And some of these, like I didn't glue them close. This is where, I think because I didn't know which ones I wanted to make like a top loading pocket and which ones maybe I wanted as a side pocket. Down. I don't think it really matters once you bind it, but just to keep them together, I'm just gonna glue. Yeah, some of them that I didn't glue down, I went back and made them little tuck spots. So this is one of the other paper collections I used, digitals that I used, and I'll link it in the description box. I think it's called Vintage Linen Kit 4, I think. Yeah. Anyways, it'll be in the description box. Okay, let's put these like this, this, they all go together, so so we start with our back cover. I'll lay this down like this, and this is waxed thread. Now, I don't know exactly how long to cut this thread. There was one video where the lady said something like, it didn't sound right. It was like some ridiculous amount of length of, I'm going to cut a ridiculous amount just to make sure I have enough. It was like, I don't even remember now. It just didn't seem like you needed that much, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure there's probably some method to how much however thick your journal is or your signature is, to know how much of this thread to cut. But we'll just do a unbelievably long. Yeah, so you're gonna double these in half, so that's probably part of the reason why it's so, maybe why it's so long, I don't know. Okay, here we go. Okay, so all you're gonna do is you're gonna just take your thread and just put it in half, the ends together, and then get your center loop here at the end. You're gonna go from the top down. You're not gonna go from the bottom up, you're gonna go the top down, and you're just gonna slip this little loop through. Like that, and then you're just gonna stick your 2 pieces of thread through that loop. And you're gonna pull it like that. That is a slip knot. Okay, so let's get our next one. I practiced this method making a little journal for that. It was like, I think it was on Valentine's Day. I did it. KB Crafts had a really cute vintage Valentine's digital, and so I thought, well, I'm gonna bind that journal with this method. Yeah, it was easy to do. Okay, pull it tight. Again, you can see this is like, these are so long. But it's better, I'd rather have it too long than not long enough. So match up your ends, find the center, loop it through, going down through your hole here. And then grab that loop on the other side. Make sure my thread is straight here. Crossover across. Okay, and then just feed your 2 open ends through the loop. I'm sure you ladies that know how to crochet and knit, this is probably a piece of cake for you. Okay, so then you take your next page and just put it on top, and this will be a little wonky because you're going to kind of make it a little bit loose because you want to be able to thread everything through. So again, just match up your 2 ends, and this might not be, it ends up not being exactly even by the time you get it in there. So you put the 2 ends in. Let me get these other strings out of the way. Yeah, see how they're not matched up exactly, but I think that's okay. And then just feed them down through your little hole, pull it through, and then you're just going to stick it in the center. So you're going to create a loop here. And just pull that through. And then you leave it a little bit loose, because if you do it too tight, then you can't get the other ones in. So do the next one. I don't know how they start out even and then they're not even. Probably when I pulled it tight, I didn't use the same amount of tension or something. So see, you thread it through your hole and then bring it back up through that loop and then pull it through. And just leave it a little bit loose. We're going to tighten it after we do this last one. I think it looks neat the way it, you know, it's kind of like this little crochet type chain. So feed it through, pull it up through your loop. I think I got, let's do that again. I think I got my thread twisted. I think you want to keep your thread so that it doesn't twist. Okey-dokey. A little hard when it's so long. I'm curious, like how much I'm going to have left when I get to the first page. Okay, thread it through the hole, back up through the loop, pull it through. Now you can pull it tight. Not so tight that you tear the paper. Okay, now our next page. Okay. So let's find the end and try to keep my thread straight. Yeah, let me know. Leave me a comment if you've used this Slipknot method before. Curious. I did see another binding method the other day. Gosh, I'll have to think about whose video it was. I think it was somebody I'd watched for the first time, and she saw it like on a reel on Facebook where they created like a little slit cut through in a spine, and they used a tab punch, a tab, like a whale tail punch tab, to bind it. It was so cool. I'm gonna have to try that next. In fact, I have another project that I want to do, so I'm gonna have to try that. Just made so much sense. So, I've used that method where you've like you cut a slit and you put like this other piece of paper through it, like a little folded piece of paper. I think it was Seven Plaza. Marguerite on Seven Plaza, I believe, did that. Okay, so thread your, just let go of my, where's the other one at? There it is. Okay. Thread it through, pull it through the loop, leave it a little bit loose. Just so you can maneuver to get the last, you know, the last one threaded. Because if you have it too tight, it's a little bit hard. Okay, so Put it through the hole. And then bring it back up through the loop. And this is why I think you use like that wax thread to just all of this. Now because we have them all in, now we can pull it tight. Okay, so I don't know if you can kind of see how it's looking. And it's kind of cool because it makes your pages lay flat. Isn't that neat? Okay, let me tighten that again. Okay, next page. That down. I was worried I would have a problem with this method because I get so like, I don't know what it is. I get like, I call it directionally challenged. I don't know really what it is, but I'll easily get confused. Like, is that the right side or the left side, or do I go down or do I go up? Where do I put my paper? Just down through the holes and up through the loop. Leave it a little bit loose until you get to the last one. Yeah, I probably didn't need this much thread, but I'll have to go back and see if I can find that one video where the lady was talking about how much, what the calculation was. So I want to say like it was like 3 inches per page that you had in your journal and times 9, or it was just some sort of calculation that you figured. I don't know. I'm going with the eyeball method today. We'll see if that works. Okay, down and back up through the center. Hope you guys can see this well. Okay, now tighten it. It's weird how it makes your pages lay flat too. That was the other thing I thought, why I wanted to try this with a chunky journal. Okay, next page. So I think I'll do this one and then I will go off camera and finish these because you're gonna get bored watching me do this over and over again. But I wanted to do a few pages so that, I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, I've got to see it a few times to learn, you know, how to do it. So I wanted to do a few pages on camera. Through the hole and pull those 2 back up through the loop. Really separate out your strings so you don't get confused. Leave it a little bit loose till you do the last one. Got a lot of string here. So excited to finish this journal. I just love the colors and I love the paper. What do I have on the back here that's not? Oh, I need my crocodile. This didn't go all the way through. Or you know what it was is that I added this ephemera piece through is it? Yeah, it's a teacup. And when I glued it on, I thought I hole punched it again, but I guess I didn't. So I'm just going to put one of these hole reinforcers on that back side real quick. See, it doesn't really matter when you're folding your digital paper if you glue it closed, if the opening is towards the spine, because this binding method is going to close it. So down through the hole, back up through the loops. Pull it tight. See? Isn't that cool? Okay, so I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to finish, and then I'll come back with the last one because there's a way that you tie it at the very end. So I'll be right back. Hi, okay, I'm back. So I'm got to the last page, to our cover page. So you're going to thread these through just like the other previous pages. But you are going to do something a little bit different afterwards. So just thread this through the hole, back up through the loop, and just leave it a little bit loose so you can get the other ones. Yeah, I definitely had enough string, so I'm glad that I cut it a little bit longer, cut my thread a little bit longer, because I definitely want to make sure I had enough. Bit loose. Yeah, last one. Through the hole. Back up through the center. Now you can pull it tight. All three of them tight, and then we're going to start at the top, and you're going to take one thread, and you're basically just going to thread it through like this. One goes that way. This one goes the opposite way. Just kind of just goes up and around. That's all you're doing. It's just to tie it off so that it's tight and it doesn't come undone. So tie once. And then tie it again. Center one tight, so the one on the right gets threaded through to the left, just up, and around. Oops, back up the other side. Hold of it. And then the thread on the left goes back up through the right. See, it just kind of wraps it around is all it's doing. Oops. Hitting my light. Back through here. Just pull it tight and tie a knot. Do a double knot. And then last one, pull it tight. And then the thread on the right gets looped and threaded through to the left. Up, back around, and then the thread on the left gets looped around to the right, it's up, back down, and then we're going to tie a knot. And I'm going to tie it a double knot. And then I'm going to tie these in a bow. Now you can cut these off. You can hang dangles from them. I am going to cut this down. I think I'm going to do a double knot for my bow. Does it come undone? Just have some of these hanging down. I can maybe thread some beads through later. I like how it looks with the bow. Do whatever you like. Whatever looks good to you. I'm just going to leave some of these long because, like I said, I think I may come back and put some little wonky. I've got that bouquet pocket in there that's a little bit bulky right there, so I might have to add something up here to bulk that other side up so it just lays flat. Oh, I'm going to tie a double knot in my bow. And then cut some of that off. There, see how it looks? Tie this tight again. You can come undone. Might have to tie that bow a little bit smaller, but isn't that pretty? I love how it looks. I think it's cool. Now, so yeah, my cover's quite a bit bigger. So I still have enough room that I could trim some of this off. And I probably will, I think I should do that. I don't know. Let's flip it open. So we've got that. I've got my little, this is what's making it bulky in the front because I've got this. So the paper collection, Simple Gardens, the Vintage Spring Simple Gardens paper collection, I still have some of the ephemera and the chipboard stickers. So that's where this bloom came from. Now the kit also, the digital kit also comes with the word bloom. Looks just like this, it's just not on chipboard. So I put this little bouquet pocket in here, which is a die cut from KS Crafts. And then I have a side pocket. And this came from the 12 by 12 paper pad, little cutout. And I decorated my little tab with some of the butterflies. And I actually have some koala matte photo paper that it's 69 pound and it's textured. So it's, anyways, it looks kind of neat. So I printed some of the butterflies and the hearts with that. It's so weird how it lays flat. This is, I cut this out from another page and made it a little tuck spot for one of the little jars. Oh, that's an extra little heart there. And a little tag, and I tied that around. I've got this page, and I did put a tag in there. Tag. Tiny tag. And you can see this page was like folded a little bit smaller. I had cut it down. And see, here's some of the word art that's in the digital kit. It looks the same. It has like some of the like almost like ledger numbers in the background. Excuse me. And yeah, it's just not on chipboard. And then this little thing that I die cut from KS Crafts. I just thought the little gardening tools were perfect for this. And I'm going to add a few more things. Another jar with a die cut that says spring from that, spring words from Scrap Diva Designs. That looked pretty in there. And then I've got this little flip out, and this was a 6x8 that was from the paper collection with a tag. This is a tag from the paper collection. Little butterflies. And let's see, was this? I think that was from the paper collection too. And you could journal on the back. And then I put a tag up here. Top loading pocket. Still need to add something here. And then I added this little flip. I made this little tag from, that was probably from the scrapbook paper. And this is some of the ephemera from the digital kit. And this little bunny and the cabbage and the radishes was actually on one of the pages, and I just fussy cut it out and made it a little ephemera piece. And same thing with this little, actually the birdhouse was a piece of ephemera from the kit that I didn't make it a tuck spot. I was going to. That flips open, and that's just a cluster of some of the ephemera that I put together to make a little tuck spot. Let's see, did we pull this tag out yet? Oh yeah, this is a tag I made with just some of my scraps. This was a die cut from Scrap Diva Designs, and this was from the Spring Words to Love Grows Here. I love the tickets. And then still need to add some, I'll do another flip through once I get everything else done. I still need to decorate the cover. So this is some of the word art too. And this is, I think that's a die cut that I have of a butterfly. This was a little tag thing from or KS Crafts actually. Put little, you make a shaker tag out of it, but I just put one of the journal cards, this Be Kind, Be True, Be You. And then another one, Thinking of You, on the back, and I just put some vellum so you could see through it. And then another little of the word art. It says garden, and this one says fresh. And this was, I think, on the paper pad. It was a scrap piece that I had. All the flowers of all the tomorrows are in the seeds of today. I thought that was pretty. So I cut that out and made it a little pocket with some of the little journal cards. It's so cool how it lays flat. This method, this Slipknot method, is a great method to use if you write in your journals a lot. And then another word art. This was a chipboard sticker that I had left over from the paper pad, and this was from the kit. This little block letters and a little pocket that I made here that I put some of the ephemera in. And a little library card that's in the kit. It's just from some of my scraps. And then a little tag That was, I think that was from the scrapbook paper. I used them both and combined them, so I don't, you know, I can kind of tell, I think. And then I had this cute little birdhouse die cut from Lawn Fawn in my stash, and so I had to add that. I thought it was so cute. Just a little tuck spot for a journal card. And that's In Full Bloom, is from Scrap Diva Designs Spring Words 2026. And then this is a library pocket from Scrap Diva Designs too that I added. I cut out the little bunny. Put that in there, and this little journal card. And then on this page is this teacup. And then I printed the page again, and I just cut out the teacup to make it a little tuck spot. Isn't that cute? And put some of the ephemera. Yeah. And this page is, this is from PolkaDotPixels linen. I think it's called Vintage Linen number 4. I just love the paper, and I thought it went well with the spring garden. And then this is a beautiful die cut from Scrap Diva Designs. I just thought the butterflies were pretty, and it has these little birds. And I added this little piece of ephemera here, and I made a little tuck spot for a journal card. And then this beautiful butterfly is a die cut from KS Crafts that I just thought was just so pretty, and I thought went well. And then this word butterflies is from Scrap Diva Designs Spring Words 2026. And this is a die cut from KS Crafts, and I believe it's like a tag mini album. So I just cut it out once, and I used some of my scraps to make pockets and put one of the jars from the kit in there. And oops, goes the other way. And that opens up, and I added another little pocket with a little journal card. And the butterflies and the word art are part of the ephemera and the spring garden kit from PolkaDotPixels. And then added another tag from the paper collection. And then this was a die cut that I had of the butterfly. And also the bee is in there. And then I printed this page twice, and I cut this little scene out with the cabbage and the flower and the pots and the bees, and made that a little tuck spot, and put a little tag and a little piece of ephemera in there. I love how this method folds flat. Okay, and then I used a little piece of ephemera to make a little tuck spot with a little tag and a little bingo card. Might add something to the bingo card later, I'm not sure what, but. And then this is a little ephemera piece that I just made a little tuck spot and put some of the ephemera that is, this one is, oh, there we go. I was glued. And this was a page I had cut down, so you can see it's smaller, but I made it a top loading pocket and put a little piece of ephemera there. I was going to make a tag later to add there. And add a little piece of ephemera that I made a little pocket and put another one of the little jars in. And I made this a top loading pocket and put a tag in there that I made. This is one of the pages, and of course has a bunny, so I had to make it into a tag. That was cute. Yeah. Still need to finish that page, and then this page I just clipped the little jar here. And then this is an actual doily from KS Crafts. It's really pretty. It's called a daisy doily. And so I just folded it over the top and just clipped it with the paper clip. Haven't done anything to this page yet. This page I just put a butterfly die cut that was in my stash. And this is just a little cluster of ephemera that I made into like a little tuck spot. Put a piece of ephemera and then one of the postcards that's in the kit. Journal on there. And this is a little pocket that I put a little journal card, a couple little journal cards, and our tag, another little journal card. And then this page I printed twice, and I cut the bunny out, of course, in the teacup and add some Nuvo drops to it and made it a little tuck spot and put a little ephemera in. And then just added the word welcome from Scrap Diva Designs Spring Words 2026 and a butterfly die cut that was in my stash. And then this is a little ephemera that I just clustered together as a tuck spot. Put this little journal card with a butterfly die cut from KS Crafts and another little journal card. And then this is a little envelope from, it's a die cut from KS Crafts that I used. And put a little piece of ephemera. I glued it down so that the back of it is like a little pocket, and then just left the envelope open to tuck these little pieces in. And then this is just two pockets I made. That's a chipboard butterfly that I had from the scrap paper pad, and tag, and the other two postcards that are in the kit. That is what I have so far. I didn't do anything to this page yet. Oh, this page, little ephemera piece with some journal cards I tucked in. That's all I have so far. I think I'm gonna go back, and I think I need to just trim this down maybe like a ½ inch. I think it would look better, because see what the there's a big difference there. And then I want to decorate the cover, and I have a whole bunch of other things in here. I have this cute little leaping bunny die cut in my stash, and I use some of the paper to cut out the bunnies, and I think they're so cute, so I want to add those. And I want to add these little tabs. I want to make like tag, something to put over the side of a page or the top of a page. I need to decorate those. And there's another one. Oh, there's these little envelopes that come in the kit. I need to add a couple of those. And then I did make this little tag, like a side, something to put on a side like this, like a little side tab flip, because I think those look pretty. Maybe I need to add these first before I cut down my cover, because you see these are going to stick out a little bit. Let me glue this one on. Oops. I don't want them to stick out past my cover. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Oops. When I left the cover so long. So, yeah, because if we do it, see what's on this side. Well, it might not be a good page. Gotta see what's on both sides before I put this on. This might be a good page. Just a little bit together. Put it in a little bit more. Yeah, then you have like this little flip. How cute. So I want to add some of those. And then I have, there's a bunch of, I need to cut out these little bits and pieces, but there's these little, you know, circles that are in there. And I have these little clear, I don't know if it's like a resin or epoxy or something. I got from Amazon. You just stick it right over your circle, and then see how it makes it kind of like if you added glossy accents or resin. So I need to add these to, you know, into my journal too. So yeah, so I will come back to finish embellishing my journal with you, and thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you've used this Slipknot method before. It was fun and different to make. I'm really happy that it lays so flat. I think it was probably the best idea to decorate the pages first. It is a little bit, you know, wonky here, but I'm okay with that. I think if I cut, well, after I get the tag toppers on, yeah, I think I still probably could cut off. You see that? I might still be able to cut off maybe 1/4 of an inch of the cover. So anyways, thanks everybody for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.